Hi everybody, I'm Zach and I like movies, and I'm back again from my little medical sabbatical. I had my wisdom teeth taken out, but I'm back now and I'm here to talk about A Real Pain. This is the sophomore feature, directing feature from Jesse Eisenberg, which he has also written and is starring in alongside Kieran Culkin. And there's been a lot of buzz for it since it debuted at Sundance. It's been getting rave praise, particularly for Kieran Culkin's performance, who was basically the odds-on favorite to win Best Supporting Actor this year at the Oscars. Jesse's also nominated as a writer for the script, and to be honest, all of it's very deserved. This is quite a movie, a wonderful little thing, and it's kind of it's sort of like it says it in the title of A Real Pain. You are expecting like pain, but this is like kind of the quintessential, like, dramedy, where it's you're having a fun time, but there's like, ups and downs in terms of like when you feel when you really feel the feels, and then when you really feel them, and it hits all those beats fantastically. And so what it's Jesse and Kieran. They star as David and Benji. They are cousins who used to be really close but aren't now, and they are their grandmother, who was really close to Benji, recently passed away, and part of her will was that they go on this trip to Poland and sort of go through and sort of like take a tour of Warsaw and see the ghettos, the memories, and her old family home, and the places she was that she was been through, and taking this tour of Jewish history and her history as a Holocaust survivor. And as the movie goes on, Benji is just walks into a room and lights it up. He's so charming. He's so fun to be around. He's able to like say things that are kind of he's able to say inappropriate things, but he says them so charmingly that you just love him. And Dave, meanwhile, is kind of the stick in the mud. But the more that the movie goes on, and the layers slowly get peeled back, and we see that they're both complicated people, and there's more. There is clear, like, again, in the title, pain. There's more pain to these guys than even they really try to let on. And man, it's so wonderful. This is a wonderful little movie. It's not, it is it's so, man, it's, God, talk about a movie you just want to give a big hug to. It's a real pain. Honestly, thinking it over since I saw it last night, a movie that really reminded me of was this movie by Kelly Reichardt called Old Joy, which is about two friends who used to be closer back in the day, and where they go on like a camping trip for the weekend, and they sort of like reminisce and just sort of hang out, and we're just kind of enjoying their company, and there's a lot of like sadness and somber feelings that they don't really bring to the surface in that film, but here this is much more. It's much more it's much more brought to the surface here, but not in that sort of like, it's not like a therapy session. It's just more like you're sort of like uncomfortably venting your and you're uncomfortably venting your feelings when you kind of don't feel like it's appropriate, but you really just like need to get it out, and even if you are oversharing. But that doesn't stop it from being a funny movie. Like, just watching Eisenberg and Culkin just like bounce off of each other. Their interactions and chemistry is just dynamite. And man, like, Culkin is absolutely deserves every bit of praise he's gotten for this performance. If you haven't seen Succession, I really think you should check this out to kind of see what his hype is about. And he does live up to the hype. He is really he's such a talented actor. The way that he's just a firecracker. He walks in, he's just so funny and sort of self-deprecating and able to like make every moment feel like very lively. Like again, like when he's talking to like some other people, just hey, what are you walking alone? Are you a fucking loser? And like he's able to make that sound like really friendly. And Dave, of course. And Dave, he's kind of doing it's a little more of a typical Jesse Eisenberg performance, but don't sleep on Jesse Eisenberg. He is honestly as the straight man to Culkin's more wild guy, he has a tougher time to go of it because he has to like kind of like again be something of a rock, but man, when he really gets some moments that really tug at your heartstrings. Like he has this really emotional monologue where he talks about how Benji makes him feel. And Dave, he's clearly like an anxious person. He has a lot of like he sort of like tries to keep to himself socially a lot of the time, and he doesn't really venture out. And so obviously again, like the wild guy would like bring the more insecure guy, kind of pull the stick out of his ass, and like let him like really be the kind of guy he was. And Dave really wants to be like Benji, but he also and I relate to that so much. Like I know I have friends, I have siblings who who really can put themselves out there and really just like light up a room and really just like be a human being with people. And I so desperately want to be something like that, but in this movie, David realizes that he loves Benji and he hates Benji, but he knows that Benji is hurting too, and like and Benji, you see a lot of the time that he's and Benji is clearly like still kind of shaken from their grandma's death. They were very close people, and he wants to. And you kind of wonder like at what point might be him putting on airs just to kind of like have exist in a moment that isn't some part of like the drudgery that whatever he might be going on back home, or if that is like who he is around people. And man, he has wonderful chemistry with like other they have a great group that they go on with on this tour. The tour guide, he's kind of a British drawl, which he tries to keep levity with. There's a divorcee who kind of has this nice back and forth with Benji. There's actually one of them is a Rwandan native whose mother survived the Rwandan genocide, and eventually he converted to Judaism and like really related to that, and wanted to be wanted to like sort of see this history of a Jewish history of that sort of pain. And I think it does such beautiful balancing act of like finding the fun in like interactions and human connection, but also like still like being present and aware and respectful of like just like the pain interpersonally that you might be feeling, and the pain of historical trauma. Eisenberg really respects the silence of these landmarks. Like it is kind of a tour, like it honestly is kind of a bit of a tourist-y movie. I mean, given just like the plot and where they go, but it's very respectful of like where they go, and like when they actually do make it to one of the camps. It's not like a Auschwitz or like Treblinka. It's probably one of the lesser famous ones. It's Majdanek. And when they do get there, it's like there's a reverence there. Like you feel the air just be like sucked out of the group as it would, and like they just see everything. You see everything. They see the towers. You see the smokestack, the furnace, the piles of shoes that's there, and man, it really hits. And I really love that. And also the photography here of the landscaping is really gorgeous too. I know Poland is a beautiful place, but like, yeah, I really want to go visit here. So I guess he kind of did. Eisenberg kind of did his job, sort of selling me on like wanting to see these places, but again Eisenberg also really sold me in his performance as well. Like that monologue, there's a monologue he shares, again, how he feels about Benji and how he feels like inadequate, but also like so caring and, a personal, and also insecure about how he feels himself with all of his anxieties. Like he says a line that hit me so hard. My pain is unexceptional, so I don't feel the need to burden everyone with it. And man, if that isn't the realest shit in the world, I don't know what is. And I relate so much to David. Like even like some parts of the trip, the way that he'll like kind of look back when Benji's kind of like lingering behind the group and kind of looking kind of morose, and it's like wondering, is he okay? I should probably talk to him. And Benji does have his sort of ups and downs himself, like when he isn't, kind of being, kind of being the life of the party, and like being just an absolute just spark into just kind of being a spark in everyone's life. He gets low and gets a little frantic. It feels like it could be like undiagnosed bipolar, which they do kind of have those sort of manic swings like that. But none of it feels like very over clinical again, or even like therapy, even any of that therapy talk, or it just feels very honest and very real. It's a genuinely terrific. It's a terrific little movie. It's 90 minutes long. You're wasting no time. It breezes by, and I highly recommend this. If you haven't seen this, you really should check it out. This definitely was one of the best of 2024. Or you can watch it on Hulu now, and I really gotta watch it again. I love this. Eisenberg was great. Culkin, really expecting. I'd really be surprised by now if he didn't win the Oscar with all the hype he's gotten from the award season. But yeah, wonderful movie. Loved it. Sad. It's tender. It's sweet, and it's beautifully photographed. It's tender. Also has a great selection of Chopin nocturne of Chopin piano pieces. This is as a soundtrack. Tender, sweet, touching. All the kinds of movie that you really need to. It's a movie that could really feel like a good kind of comfort movie. And even the sort of like way it opens and closes, it opens in like this the shot of like coming around in an airport, like passing the seats and the crowd, and you find Benji just sitting there by himself, just kind of sitting, waiting, and thinking. And then it mirrors that same shot at the end, sort of like a capstone. Camera comes back around, past the crowd, past the seats, and finds Benji sitting there alone by himself. And maybe there's a little bit of, solace, more solace there than beginning, or at least more than you expect. Now that we know who Benji is now, and I love it. Can't wait to hit around. I want to give this movie a big hug, and I'm feeling decent to strong 8 for A Real Pain. Wonderful movie, and that'll be it for me. I'm Zach. I like movies. I got a lot more movies to watch. And I'll probably try to get at least one or two of one of my little Criterion Challenge movies reviewed for you. And that'll be it for me. And I hope you watch movies, because movies are life. And I will see you all next time. You all take care of yourselves.